Hey guys, what's going on? I'm just going to get a nice book review out right now. Haven't got to do that in a while. I finished this last year, but it's the book I'm going to be reviewing right now is the Elfstones of Shannara, which is the second in the original trilogy for the Shannara books. It all starts out with this girl, Amberle. And she is, she's an elf. The elves have always been tied with the land, and what's happened is there's this tree called the Ellcrys. And apparently this tree is something that helps hold back as long as it's alive, it has to keep, it holds a foreboding. And inside of this foreboding is all kinds of ancient demons and horrible monsters and things that's in there and just nightmarish creatures. Well, as long as this, it's real cool because as long as this tree has been around, well then that has been kept at bay. Okay, now these creatures didn't have anything to do with, the skull bearers or the Warlock King or Brona. Okay. I mean, these were before that time even, before all the way time back during the fairy times where, before, man, really, all these things were around and they were using these ancient powers, all right? And so finally, they had tried to overrun the world, So the elves, being the smart little clever ones that they are, created the Ellcrys. Okay, well the problem is that now the people tasked with guarding it and her preservation are starting to realize that she's slowly starting to die. Okay, well Amberle is one of the only females that had been chosen to be a part of these guardians of the Ellcrys. Okay, so well the problem is she's ran away. I mean, the thing, even the Ellcrys can talk to them, but usually the Ellcrys just talks at one time in the morning, and it's usually to, if it says anything at all. Okay, well, the Ellcrys has taken a liking to this Amberle and talks to her a lot. Well, for some reason, I guess it upset her. Anyways, she's ran off. We got to find Amberle, okay? All right, now she's the daughter of Isildur the King, the old guy from the last book. Well, she's fallen out of favor with the elves because they think she's shucking her duties and stuff when she's, they don't know kind of the whole story there. And also you have Isildur and his brother that are kind of fighting. I mean, Ander is okay with his role as just, not being the crown prince, not really wanting a whole bunch of the administrative duties that would come if he was king. So his brother Arlor is the one that's taking over those. He's the guy that's the good negotiator, the real good thing here. And another deal is Amberle was taken with was friends with Ander. She was the younger girl, and Isildur, kind of took her under his wing. Well, that kind of was a thorn in Arlor's side as well because, he wanted to take her under his ring. The first in the hundreds and hundreds of centuries that a girl was chosen as being part of these protectors of that tree, and now she's learning from his brother. Well, that's a thorn in Arlor's side, and so every chance he get, this Arlor, the real good administrator guy, tries to stick it to his brother, and he's real pompous to his brother all the time. Well, Ander's like, listen man, chill out, I don't like this thing between us. Well, anyways, the old king's aging, he's not getting any younger, and you got that going. And well, you can't have a Shannara book without an Ohmsford. So well, you've got back in Shady Vale, Wil Ohmsford. He gets thrown into this balance somehow. Now the problem is he's not full elf. He's kind of a quarter elf now because his father was only half elf. Well, so he's got these elf stones Sometimes he can use them, sometimes he can't. He really doesn't know how to work them. If he can break that wall to get into the Elfstones, he doesn't really know. And so that's kind of going on. Well, he's brought into this whole thing because, you guessed it, Alannon shows up again. And by this point in time, if you're in Ohmsford and this Alannon guy shows up, okay, it's time to find somewhere else to live. Okay? Because every time this guy shows up, it's bad. You know? But anyways, so he gets Wil Ohmsford. They got to go find Amberle. They got to get her to get out of her way and come back and help save this Ellcrys, this great tree, so that it will, because it's starting to die, the forbidding is starting to crumble, and slowly but surely these magical creatures are getting able to seep back through into the world. 3 of which are some of the most nastiest out there. And so those guys set about trying to do that. And so that's what this book is about. It's a pretty good book. You know, they've got to go find this ancient place, and they've got text, but they don't know where it is. They know an area, but they don't know exactly where it is. They've got to get there. They've got to dip the seed into this place, see, in order, and then get that all the way back to the tree and plant it. They got to take the seed of this Ellcrys. They got to dip it in to the bloodline, and then they've got to get it back and plant it there so that it can have a rebirth, and then keep this forbidding fresh, because then it would be more centuries and centuries later before they would have to worry about it. Okay, so that's the gist of this book, and it's pretty good. It goes really fast. Of course, I can go through books pretty good, but you know, this one's a little bit over 500, not really that bad, but I think you will like it. Once again, it goes back into the history. You learn a lot more about the history of the elves in this book, and I think it was pretty well done. You know, I mean, it's worth the read. It may take you 2 or 3 days, but I think that you would like it, and the ending is pretty good, I would have to say. As far as all the other stuff that I've read, I mean, not the best ending. I like the first one of the series, and I kind of like the last one of the series, which I'll review here later on. But hey, go pick it up, try it out. It's a good read. Terry Books has got it going on. From my bookshelf to yours, keep on reading.